do want to be focusing on.
Well, let's use that point. Bring in Charles Tarbey. He's from Century 21, the Australian chair of it. He is in Perth, having heard those remarks. Charles, on housing, what might you have expected the Reserve Bank to flag today?
One of the things that's been concerning me the most is that at the end of the day, a lot of people are hearing about the price rises across the country, and there certainly have been price rises, but only in certain pockets, Carson. The issue is that they've talked boom, and there isn't a boom. We're a long way off a boom. And so my concern was that if the continuation of the price talk was there, that there was a possibility that interest rates might move up to slow that down a little bit. But the truth is there is no housing boom. We haven't seen 80% clearance rates in the auctions on a consistent basis for a long time, which is where we consider a boom to be or have started. And so I think that if they're not talking about housing in their report, that's probably a good thing. Perhaps they may have recognised that situation.
Charles, when it comes to wages, the Reserve Bank making the point, as I just made it to the panel, that there has been a noticeable decline in the economy. What does that spell for the future stability of house price demand amidst an environment of declining wages, noticeable declines?
Well, you know, obviously they're all connected with the wages and the interest rates to the prices. I wish I was seeing a decline in the real estate industry. There is an increase in cost in terms of wages in the real estate industry across the country, particularly in the property management arena. So it's bucking the trend because there's a view that our industry is on the move. It's going to impact, and as we tell all buyers, you know, when you're looking at buying a property, you've got to factor in that there may be an increase, or you've got to factor in that your salary may reduce. And if you don't prepare yourself for that, you're going to find yourself in trouble no matter what the level of interest rates are.
Charles, it's James in Sydney. I was wondering what's your read and what's your take on the lower dollar and the impact that's having on foreign demand for Australian property?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. When it was high, people were buying in the US, and they weren't realising that when it dropped that they were going to lose a lot of the gain that they got, even if there was capital gain overseas. It does have an impact on us, but we have a significantly high number of investors wanting to buy in Australia, far more than the actual product that we have to offer. So although the demand may slow down, the actual amount of people that we can service will still remain based on the stock levels that are out there at the moment.
Craig, have you got a perspective you want to throw at Charles, just whilst we've got him?
I think Charles is spot on about there being no bubble, housing bubble here in Australia, and I think the Reserve Bank has got it spot on as well, because it is talking about a solid expansion in housing construction, and home prices are always a function of supply and demand. You know, sort of if we have got stronger demand out there and higher prices, you know, sort of as a result of that, provided we have more supply coming on, then the Reserve Bank is not going to be unduly concerned about. So therefore, you don't have any reference to home prices in there. You do have a reference to housing supply, the solid expansion in housing construction, and that's giving the Reserve Bank, you know, so a lot of comfort at the moment that we are seeing housing displacing the mining sector as the driver of the Australian economy.
Well, I want to thank you, Craig James, for your input and your insights as always, from CommSec Chief Economist, and to Charles Tarbey, Australia Chair at Century 21 from the West. Thanks for indeed joining the show too. Appreciate it.